Hey guys, so we're just gonna jump right in. I start by applying my primer. This is e.l.f. Poreless Primer, and I absolutely love how matte it makes me. I apply this all over because I have really oily skin and it helps control my oils. Next, I'm gonna take my two foundations that I like to use together. This one is in Black Radiance and Cocoa Bean, and apply that to the outer parts of my face or where I'm gonna contour. And then I take my Maybelline Fit Me in 360 and put that on the inner parts of my face or where I would highlight and conceal. I used to just mix these two together and then apply, but I like to do it this way now because the Cocoa Bean is slightly darker than the 360, so it just made more sense to do it that way. But either way, I love the way this combo looks together. Now, I'm taking my Real Techniques foundation brush to blend these foundations together. And I always start from the bottom and work my way up to the top, layer by layer. I usually like to use a beauty sponge for this part, but between my three rambunctious boys, something is always going missing. I also don't take the product all the way under my eyes because the skin there is very thin, and I don't like a bunch of product in that area. You also want to make sure to bring the foundation down to the neck and over the ears so that your color is even all over. So moving on to brows. First, I take my spoolie and brush through them really good. I haven't actually got them done in a while, but it's okay. Moving forward. I take my angled brush and Shadow Sense colors in Onyx and Garnet and mix them first together on a piece of cardboard or something, and then start to apply to my brows. Shadow Sense are eyeshadows from the company Senegence that are in liquid to powder form and has a waterproof, smudge-proof formula which helps them to last all day. These are my absolute favorite products to use for brows because I know once they are on, they're not going anywhere. I'm super messy when it comes to brows because I know my cleanup game's strong. I start by lining my brows and filling in as I go, taking most of the product to the tail end of the brow and using whatever is left on the brush to the front for that ombre look. But girl, I told you I'm super messy. It's okay though, we'll just clean that up with concealer later. Now I'm going in with my brow gel. This is from Maybelline in the color Deep Brown. I always have to have brow gel so that my brow hairs can stay in place. Between the Shadow Sense and the brow gel, I know for a fact my brows aren't moving. Then I quickly just go back in with my spoolie just to brush everything through before I start cleaning up. Now I take my LA Girl Pro in Toast with another thin angled brush and start the cleanup process. This is a time where you can pretty much create the way you want your brows to look. This look was inspired by Golden XOO from Instagram, and her brows were more circular rather than angled, so that's what I went for. Little by little, I start with lining under my brow and then bringing the concealer down towards my crease because I'll be priming my lids with the same concealer anyway. Doing the same with the top of the brow, drawing the line and sweeping upward, making any corrections as I go. Then I just quickly blend out that top area of product because I just hate that unibrow look. But like I said before, I prime my lids with that same concealer in Toast, blending with my finger, and then setting right away with Airspun translucent powder to prevent any creasing. Now starting with the Mulberry Shadow Sense, I'm taking a fluffy blending brush and using this color as my transition shade in my crease. Now, like other shadows, the colors differ depending on your skin tone color. This one is really light for me, so I'm using it just as a base starting color. Then I take a slightly smaller blending brush from e.l.f. and taking the color Man Eater from my Huda Beauty palette, blending that straight into my crease. I always start from the outer corner and blend inward because where you place the color first will have the most payoff. To build up that burgundy color, I go back into the palette and get the shade Bossy and blend that right on top of the previous color. Now just to deepen up the crease a little more, I'm taking the Shadow Sense color Garnet and I'm just going to draw a pretty thin line right above where I know I'm going to cut my crease. And take that same blending brush that we used for that burgundy color in the crease, without dipping back into the palette, just blend out the edges of that brown color. Now to cut the crease, I'm using LA Girl Pro and Fawn, and as you can see, I do have hooded eyes, which means my crease folds over my lids. So now I have to create a crease that is slightly higher than my actual crease. And to do that, I just take my concealer slightly above that fold and try to make that line as straight as possible. Then I quickly just blend out those edges before setting with Airspun translucent powder for a smoother transition. Going back into the Huda palette, I'm taking the color Bay and putting that on the inner corner up into the middle of my lid. Using Garnet once again, placing on the outer corner of the lid and blending forward. Then I go back and forth between the two colors and blend until I'm satisfied. So now we're just going to take a liner brush. This one I just got in a set off of Amazon. And taking the color Onyx Shadow Sense, I'm lining the lid in an angled motion up towards my crease. You want to make sure to start off with a thin line because by the end of it, it always ends up thicker than you originally planned. Also, bringing that liner up along the bottom edge of the crease, I will be blending out the edges to create a seamless look. Just using a flat, dense, angled blending brush to blend that out. So we're done with the eyes for now, and moving on to the face, going back in with my LA Girl in Toast. I like to conceal under my eyes and T-zone first and just let that sit for a while, which will end up giving me more coverage. You guys, I really love Shadow Sense so much. You can really create a full face with just a few of these colors, and your whole entire face will be smudge proof. Like, how amazing is that? Right now, I'm using Garnet to contour with and using a dense angled equal tools brush to apply to the outer parts of my face. Gotta get that double chin, honey. Now I'm going in with another angled face brush from BH Cosmetics, and we're just going to blend out that concealer we let sit. Now, right after I blend out the concealer under my eyes, I immediately set it with my powders. The reason for that is to try to prevent my under eye from creasing as much as possible. I'm using my Airspun translucent powder mixed with my Sacha buttercup powder to create the perfect mixture for me. I use extra powder because I need to bake so that my face doesn't end up looking like a grease ball in 2 hours. Now moving along, I'm using this contour kit I got from Amazon to set my contour. All the colors are unnamed, so I'm just mixing two of the colors to get my perfect shade. Then to cut my contour, I'm going back into that Airspun Sacha powder mixture and going to run that along the bottom of my contour to make it sharper. Yes, hunty, and we are snatched. Now, as you can see from my face, I used a little too much, but with these shadow senses, you really don't need a lot. They're super pigmented. And once again, this is Garnet. Now with my big fluffy face brush, I'm taking my Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 40, which I'll show you in a sec, and lightly dusting away my bake. And here is my favorite blush I got from shopmissa.com for only $1. Yes, I said $1. And for me, I put blush in between my contour and highlight and always on the apples of my cheeks. I just used a little of my e.l.f. setting spray to get rid of that powdery look and melt everything together. Now for the fun part, highlight. I'm using the Shadow Sense color Copper Rose Shimmer, and with my finger placing that on the highest parts of my cheeks, nose, and cupid's bow. Woo, look at that shine. I'm super extra and love a bold highlight, so I'm going to add Apricot Glow by e.l.f. right on top of that. Okay, never get enough. Okay, finishing touches. I'm taking the same color Bossy used in my crease from the Huda Beauty palette and running that along my bottom lash line. And going in with a tiny bit of Onyx, just taking that up into the middle of the bottom lash line. And then you'll see me taking my Big Shot Mascara by Maybelline and prepping my natural lashes for my falsies. Unfortunately, after that part, my phone dies, but you'll see the end results with lashes on and lips done. On my lips is Lip Sense, also by Senegence, in the color Blackberry with gold glitter gloss on top. I'll have to do another video to show you exactly how to apply Lip Sense. And like the Shadow Sense, they are waterproof, smudge-proof, and yes, even kiss-proof. They last anywhere from 4 to 18 hours. Unbelievable, right? Thank you guys for watching. Please like this video, share with family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in my next one.